So, I watched Mad Max Furiosa, and all I gotta say is, damn, we might not get another one. And that's sad because the movie is actually pretty good. The only complaints I got was the CGI and the running time. But other than that, I don't see why this movie flopped. The actions were amazing, they were cool, the characters are great, the villain is fun, the story is great, the motivation of the main character is understandable, and you back her up, and this world is so immersive. So, yeah, why didn't anybody watch this movie? Man, do we have to really go door by door and, you know, like missionaries and say, have you watched Mad Max Furiosa yet? Are Mad Max fans that disciplined to where it's like, oh, a Mad Max movie without Max? Nah. Nah, I'll wait, alright? Like, bro, there are Spider-Man fans that are getting fed every day, and they're still begging for more. It's like, oh, can we get like an Andrew Garfield, you know, Spider-Man movie? Can we get like a animated Spider-Man show? You know, the Chad Mad Max fans is like, nah, Fury Road is good enough. All right, this Furiosa thing, all right, not bad. I'll check that out maybe like 3 years from now. All right, so the movie Mad Max Furiosa is supposed to be a origin story of Furiosa. So we get to see her as a child, and surprisingly, we stay with child Furiosa for like almost half of the movie. We don't get to see adult Furiosa, you know, Anya Taylor-Joy until maybe like an hour until the movie. But there is a reason why they stayed so long. It's because they're trying to set up this gritty and black world, you know, where people are just savages and, you know, no one is to be trusted. There is no good person in this world. And also during this part of the movie, we're also focusing on the antagonist of the film, and that is Dementis. Now, Dementis is a really fun villain to watch. Chris Hemsworth really killed it in this role. Like, he has such a good talent on being, like, in comedic roles because of his role on Thor, you know? Like, he's been playing Thor so long and, you know, doing all this comedic acting. You know, it was just smooth sailing when he was playing as Dementis. Like, you could tell all those years as playing as Thor led up to this. So yeah, what makes Dementis really fun to watch is he's charismatic, but incompetent, but still pretty evil. Like, don't get that messed up, all right? Like, he's still like an evil, sadistic person. Like, he has this ringleader slash wrestler type of vibe, so he likes to make a show and perform out of anything, especially killing people. But because he's so charismatic and funny, you just hate to hate him. You just want to like him because, you know, he's just so likable in the movie. But it's like, no, if only you weren't a villain. So yeah, throughout the movie, Dementis has basically tortured Furiosa through her entire life. When she was a child, she was ripped away from possibly one of the best places in the post-apocalyptic world in the planet. He has killed 2 people that Furiosa was close to and made her watch, broke her arm, and also sold her as a child to Immortal Jack. So yeah, all of these things is pretty reasonable for revenge. But all while doing that, Dementis still seems pretty likable. It's hard to hate him even after all those. So yeah, revenge story, pretty good. My problem with the movie, alright, let's talk about the negatives, and that is the CGI, and it felt like it went on too long. So one of the biggest complaints about this movie, everybody's been talking about, was the CGI. The CGI, most of it was noticeable, but they knew how to use it. Either they put it in the background, or at least it's not on screen too long. But the times when it's the opposite, oh my, it's really bad. It's like, ew, what? Get this thing out of here. You're ruining the movie. Now, I understand why the CGI is pretty bad, but at the same time, you should have got somebody who knew how to use CGI. Shit, one of the biggest movies before this movie came out was Planet of the Apes, and the CGI was amazing. You could have told me they hired apes, and I would have believed you. But yeah, if you know, you know. You know, with Fury Road, it was like production hell. Like, everybody hated each other. It was taking a long time to, like, do some scenes because everything was practical. So they were driving cars really fast. It was hot as hell. They were playing with fire. They were doing acrobat. It was a lot of stuff happening in that movie. And, George Miller, the director, he kind of quit after that. And I can see why. And plus, with that movie doing pretty bad, it was just like, fuck, man, why put this much effort? So with his next movie, he's like, listen, man, I don't know how to do CGI. He's probably in a low budget too, so it's like, all right, I gotta do the best I can, all right? So I understand, but a lot of other people who haven't watched the last movie or don't know how the production was in that last movie don't care. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't criticize the CGI, but I understand. Now, I felt like the movie was actually well-paced, especially in the beginning. It felt like there was, like, two different movies because, we get young Furiosa and adult Furiosa. But because it felt like two movies, it went on a little too long. Especially at the end where it's like, oh yeah, we forgot. It's a revenge story, so we gotta put the actual revenge part in this movie. So at that point, it felt like it was dragging. But yeah, other than that, really good movie. This was great. If it had amazing CGI, perfect movie. Oh my god, bro. Movies are back. I haven't felt like this since years, I think it's ever since IMAX where I'm like, oh, there is a difference. Like, I've been going to these, like the standard or regular theaters, and it's like, all right, I'm watching a movie, but man, the IMAXs, they're worth it. Like, the screen is big enough to feel immersed. The audio's amazing. Everything. It's just great. I am hearing that IMAXs is, like, expanding, trying to, be available in more theaters. I hope so, because, I can't go back to standard theaters. Like, man, I could have just stayed home and, illegally watched this instead, on my TV. Now, one more thing I got to point out in this movie, and that is this movie, specifically this one, is noticeably Australian. I noticed they hired way more Aborigines into the movie. Though, if you guys don't know who they are, they're the natives that were living in Australia. And, the same fate happened to Native Americans in America. And also, the didgeridoo. When you think Australian, you think of this instrument. So it is clear as day that they are in Australia. And I do love this addition, it just gives more character into this world, It makes it more distinguished where they are, because this could be anywhere. This could be in the desert in Africa, but it is based in the desert in Africa. Now, I got one more thing to talk about in this movie, and that is Tom Booker. I forgot the character's name, but I gotta say, he does look like Snake. He does. Oh my god, bro! I haven't noticed that until like Hideo Kojima pointed that out. Like, bro, he even got like they painted his forehead. That's the boss's bandana. And bro, what a fucking honor! Like, if I was him, well, bro, Hideo Kojima comes up to me and says, "You look like Snake." Oh man, that's a religious experience, man. Now, if they are still trying to make this MGS movie, the last news we got was Oscar Isaac leaving. Could we get this guy to play as him? Now, I understand. He's kind of old right now. He's in his 40s, so, he's good to play as Naked Snake or even Venom Snake, but, like, Solid Snake, I don't know. Like, by the time, when they're done with the Naked Snakes and Venom Snakes, the Solid Snake, he's going to be old right now. Wait, he could play as Old Snake. I don't know. But yeah, overall, great movie. Please watch it, all right? Listen, guys. I try to tell my cousin, hey, man, do you want to, have you watched any movies lately? It's like, oh, no, I haven't watched the Planet of the Apes or even Mad Max. I'm like, oh, if you would like to watch some movies, what would you pick? He picked Mad Max in the beginning. I was like, oh, great choice. You know what? I would, that was a perfect choice. You know what? I'll give you tickets right now to watch it. And then he changed his mind, like, actually, you know what? I want to watch Planet of the Apes. I'm like, fuck. So yeah, listen, guys, if you're a fan of this movie, please watch it at least a second time, or watch it with friends and family, all right? I already did my part. I already watched it with my family on IMAX, so yeah. If you want this movie to come out at least less than 5 years, please watch it again. But by the looks of it, I think it's too late. So, yeah. 8 out of 10. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and bye.